So I met Jacques, and he watched a few of my matches. We did some jet skiing together. We started to hang out together, and one day he called Vince right in front of me, and he said, I got someone here. You may want to get a good look at him. He's very good. But I didn't know what was happening in the back scene, like after that phone call, if probably other phone calls happens, because time went by. Like I had to go to Japan, had to stay in Puerto Rico, and Jacques we were calling each other sometimes by payphone. Because I remember when he called, Vince was from a payphone, and he went straight to his secretary, which I never seen anything like that. Talking directly to Vince McMahon, and then Sergeant Slaughter got in touch with me and sent them a few tapes, sent them a few pictures package and everything, and they brought me in on my own for 2 tryouts. They were both against Jim Powers, and everybody that were on those tryouts got hired. So my tryout happened. The Smoking Guns were having a tryout too, Bart and Billy. They got hired. Brian Clark, that night that I had my tryouts, he got hired.
Good guy.
Bastion Booger, he got hired. Curtis Hughes, we were together in Puerto Rico. He's getting a tryout. The same night I'm getting a tryout, he got hired. So I might be missing like another name. Like we were a bunch of guys that just got hired that night.
But you're just listing off all of my favourites from the early 90s, really. Like that's all. these are all of the figures I had to play with, really. I'm such a 92, 93 fan that just as soon as you mention like Mr. Hughes or someone, I'm just like, of course, Hughes, Adam Bomb, yeah.
Curtis, me and Curtis, we teamed together a little bit in Puerto Rico for a few matches against maybe Carlos and Abdullah the Butcher, or whatever. I was main eventing pretty much. The indie scenes all over the place.
I always thought he should have had a bigger run in the WWF, to be honest. I always thought Mr. Hughes had a lot more potential than what we saw. Like, I know he got like a feud with The Undertaker and a few things in like 93, but I felt like that was a great character.
Yeah, he was great in WCW. So yeah, they could have done something better with him.
Really, really menacing. Like just a really, really great facial expressions, great heel.
Yeah, big dude, could move too. So, and Brian, they started him as Adam Bomb. So I think he came in at a different name. Maybe the Unibomb. What was his name in the
I'm not sure.
Smoky Mountain.
I think
he came from Smoky Mountain.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And also he had like the Heavenly Buddies that came from there after that, Pritchard and his buddy, and a lot of guys were coming from Smoky Mountains from the Jim Cornette before they got together. It was just the Cornette territory. So that's how that was Jacques. That was probably doing a lot of things without me knowing, like a lot of phone calls. And basically, I was just replacing Raymond that I decided to retire at 33 years old because he was already a millionaire. So he had started at 16 years old and was very super tight on the road and bringing sandwiches and just piling the money all the time and buying houses with his dad and being in the real estate. Like he was set at 33.
Yeah.
He had his own plane. Like I did a few times, I did the voiceovers, like the commentary in French. We had to go in Stamford, Connecticut to do it. And we're flying with Ray's airplane to White Plains, New York to do the commentary and coming back. Not even on like American Airlines or just with Ray's plane, you know. So Ray Rougeau's plane.
Wow.
So he's one of my good friend, Ray Rougeau. You know, we always got along good, and I got along better with him than with my partner Jacques.
Do you still keep in touch with Jacques?
No, just with Ray.
With Ray. I mean, I as a team, I loved the Quebecers. So like, I always loved tag team wrestling. I loved it when you got a real unit as a tag team. I loved it when, as you say, you know, the Quebecers, the Steiner brothers, the Head Shrinkers, the Smoking Guns, like that era where
the Road Warriors.
everyone was a team rather than two individuals. And I remember, and I was watching this recently on Netflix, because now there's certain old Raw episodes on Netflix. One of them is the night on Raw when the Quebecers win the tag team titles for the first time. Yeah. Quebecer province rules, beating the Steiner with Johnny Polo by your side, which I think was the first night you got paired up with Johnny as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Steiners didn't want to put us over. So Vince had to figure out a way. It was not the screw job, but he had to figure out a way to put the title on us. So, yeah.
But I loved the pairing of the Quebecers and Johnny Polo. Obviously, it doesn't last that long, but the time that you were together, I thought was brilliant as a trio. I thought I loved Johnny Polo in that era. He was the voice of so many kind of Coliseum home videos for us UK fans, so we got very used to the voice of Johnny Polo. A match that really I wanted to ask you about, though, is one that jumps out at me from that New Generation era, because you and Jacques were in the ring that night on Royal Rumble 1994 when Owen turns on Brett, which obviously kickstarts one of the best rivalries of all time, and that all begins with that Quebecers match. What any memories of working with Brett and Owen?
Oh, all the memories. I remember the match like it was yesterday. I remember calling the match with them like it was yesterday, like with Owen, and I knew Owen. I had met him a few times. Well, what we're doing like the TV in France, like Owen did some TVs, like Otto was sending some guys, and Flesh Gordon from France, where when we did the Hamburg, we went to France for a period of time, and this guy got that TV deal, and then he called Otto to get more talent, to have a good talented crew on TV, and that's how I met Chris Benoit. That's how I met Owen Hart during those TV tapings. And I knew a lot of guys because I was working with all the British guys and All Stars. So when our crew and the Otto's crew met, that kind of reinforced them to want me to go work for them for CWA.
Yeah.
When they saw us as a tag team, how good we were, and and like you said, you know, I was brought up in the generation with the Rockers, with Sean and Marty, the Road Warriors, the Warlord Barbarian, where a lot of teams are there, the Killer Bees, and like you said, Unit, they had Demolition, so many teams, so many good teams that look good as two guys is looking the same, Power and Glory, you know.
Yeah.
Hercules, Paul Roma, and all those teams, you know. So we were part of that, and that was cool. I remember that match like it was yesterday. And then I was a good friend of Owen, and it's just I was also under contract with WWE at the time when he died. We were down in Memphis on the developmental territory called Power Pro Wrestling. I was there with Kurt Angle and Sean Stasiak, Vic Grimes, Mick Turney, a bunch of other talent.